So here's a new one from Ford Motor Company. Currently I'm working on a 2022 Ford Escape that has rear brake problems where the brakes are grabbing and grinding as the vehicle backs out of the driveway. The front brake pads now are grinding down to metal on metal. I believe there's a problem with the sensor that is engaging the automatic braking system when driving, as it's registering a lane change even though there is not a change of lanes happening, and that then is causing an issue. Ford's has decided for this vehicle to use 4 small jack pad locations, but these jack pad locations happen to be made out of plastic. And if you try to put anything in here, as this is just a real thin wall of metal, and the metal wall is so thin that anything I put on the side of this vehicle to try to jack it up will bend the bottom of the frame rail. If you try to jack up from the control arm bushings are what holds the control arm in vertically and not horizontally, which means that by lifting up the vehicle straight, I will then be pushing right into the bushing, which ruins the control arm. The control arms are thin aluminum, which means if you try to jack up off of the control arm, there's no flat piece of metal for you to be able to get a jack at, and if you do, you'll bend that. Anywhere on the frame rails are all rounded and are all specifically shaped and curved in different areas to allow the vehicle's aerodynamic shape to maintain its structure. However, as soon as I put a jack on there, that thin metal wall that is rounded will collapse and will then bend this cross-member support beam that holds the front end of the vehicle straight. Then the vehicle will then begin to drive incorrectly, as if you were in an accident and have a bent frame. If you decide you want to try to put your jack here and you bend the frame that holds the plastic jack pad that supposedly fits in here to lift this up correctly, you end up with a bent frame rail hole that then when you go back to a dealership, they can no longer put the plastic jack pads that fit into this vehicle to lift the vehicle up safely, which then means they must do welding and cutting on the vehicle frame in order to get the vehicle safe again to be able to lift on a lift. So kudos to Ford Motor Company, and thank you very, very much.